Whoopsies. Alright, we're back. And it's time to start a new adventure. The Confined Room Mystery, which is the book that we've been looking into all this time. Now that we're back in the present. Hello, friend. Hello, friend. Mr. Shen and Mr. Su, welcome to the Golden Words Publishing House. I am Fang Han Chu, the supervisor here. Hello, Miss Fang. Through your telegram, we have learned about the incident in Pearl Town. Thank you both for uncovering the truth. Miss Liu was an outstanding editor, and her passing away is truly regrettable. We have published an article explaining Lo Shiwen's contribution to Lo Pei's novels. I hope this will provide some comfort to Miss Liu. Pi Cheng valued the reputation of the authors greatly and hopes that she is aware of it. Miss Liu would surely be happy about that. The rain gets heavier, and please come in and continue our conversation indoors. Mr. Shen, are you here to look for a specific book? May I know the title? I'm not sure about the exact title either. But, according to Lo Shiwen, Lo Pei's The Confined Room Mystery borrows ideas from this book. The manuscripts that Pi Cheng has handled are plentiful. If we were to go through every piece of them, it would indeed take a long time. Mr. Shen, do you have any other information? This matter might be helpful in finding the book. Lo Pei's visit. Did Miss Liu mention anything about Lo Pei borrowing ideas from others before she left Liangzhou? She mentioned that she wanted to verify something with him, but she did not provide any details. Why didn't she mention it at all? Pi Cheng is a cautious person. She never spoke without conducting thorough investigations first. 6 months ago, Lo Pei visited the publishing house. He must have read the manuscript during that time. That time it was me who invited Lo Pei to come, and I also took him to the archives. But I am not sure which manuscripts he had gone through during his visit. What kind of work was Miss Liu busy with during her final days? Was any of her work related to the manuscripts? If I had to say, Pi Cheng has recently made a great effort to reread the rejected manuscripts.
Huh?
Why would she reread the manuscripts that have already been rejected? Previously, we didn't prioritize detective novels as a genre, so many submissions were rejected. But in recent years, detective novels have been increasingly popular amongst readers. Pi Cheng had hoped to discover more talented authors from within this genre. In other words, there may be some excellent novels that have been overlooked in the rejections. Exactly. Pi Cheng believed that the popularity of detective novels can bring great benefits. It showcases a rigorous mode of logical thinking and also encourages everyone to seek the truth. For readers constrained by the 8-legged essay, this is a refreshing change. Miss Liu was doing was indeed very meaningful. Miss Liu realized the ideas in Lo Pei's book were plagiarized while sorting the rejects. That's why she went to talk to Lo Pei. Sure, it's fact. Could we take a look at those rejected manuscripts? They were all sent back to the archives room. Let me take you there. 15 minutes later. Strange. The rejected manuscripts that Pi Cheng had sorted through were supposed to be here. How could they have disappeared? They're gone. They're gone. Oh? Wow! It's the parrot talking! Praise me! Praise me! Tue, did you finish your meal? I'm done. I'm done. Mr. Shen, this is Wu Su Li. Wu Su... no, I think that was right. This is Wu Su Li, the archivist, and Chu Er is her parrot. If you need any assistance, feel free to ask her for help. Su Li, Mr. Shen and Afu are both detectives. They came to us to investigate clues, and we will do our best to assist them. Detectives? The kind that solve murder cases? Oh, sweet. Exactly. How interesting. I love it. This is actually the first time I've met a real live detective. Alive! Alive! The bird's the killer. Actually, I am a detective novelist, too. My pen name is Appa. Wow, that's impressive. Can I read your books? I'm still crafting my stories. You know what? During our conversation, I suddenly got a great idea. The detective came in search of lost clues. What lay before him were piles of manuscripts. To find the crucial evidence from within it was an unprecedented challenge. You haven't written anything yet, have you? You haven't even started writing yet? Miss Lou organized some rejected manuscripts of detective novels. Do you know where she put them? We don't have a separate category for detective novels yet. Only narrative fiction, supernatural tales, legal stories, kung fu novels, and romance fiction. Those rejected manuscripts were originally piled up messily on this table, but I spent 2 full days organizing every single manuscript, and they are now systematically filed. Praise me. Praise me. Acknowledge me. Oh boy. Hmm? Why does everyone look so unhappy? Well, looks like you'd have to search through each bookshelf one by one, Mr. Shen. It's done. It's done. It's all right. Afu, let's start searching from the leftmost bookshelf. Oh. Oh boy. It's gonna take a while. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. My God, we went through everything. Good Lord. Nothing. As time goes by. I have finished this stack. I will go and grab another stack. These are all manuscripts that have been reviewed. I haven't come across any plots similar to the Confined Room mystery. I'd rice, I'd cake, cowhide candy. Afu is sound asleep. Let's not wake him up. All the books on this bookshelf have been reviewed. Literally. What? It's so late. How could there be a child here? Let me have a look. How did I end up back here again? Afu has also disappeared somewhere. Oh, we dreamin'. We dreamin'. Yeah, we dreamin'. We're going back in time. Back once again. Confined Room Mystery, Chapter 5. The bookshelf is filled with books. Seems to be one book that appears different from the others. Oh! Don't be afraid. It's me. Zhongping, did you steal Dad's opium pipe again? Yeah, where? Where is it? Don't make a sound. I'll go handle it. Dad, what are you looking for? Where's my money? Where's my money? You've been out of money at home. You've sold off everything. Who said there's no money left? Where did that little rascal go? Manager of the theater will come to pick him up in a few days. He behaves and goes with that person. It's all right, a sum of money. You're insane! After raising you for so many years, it's time for you to show filial piety. So you were hiding here all along. Oh, fuck. Run quickly. Oh, good lord. What is happening? Oh, okay. Oh, God. No! Okay. All right. Action sequence, go. Okay, there are controls there. Let's go. Oh no! No! Well, that just mean. We're gonna go through this. Oh, that's a wall. That's a wall. Okay. So we run automatically. All right. Oh no! Looks like there's no way to out-accelerate him. Just have to run through here without making any mistakes. Oh god. Out of here. Oh no. Good time? What? Oh, that's bad. May I come in, Zhongping? If you don't let me in, then I'll have to perform the magic trick for someone else. Close your eyes. Oh, and smile. Open your eyes now. Oh, do you like it? Oh. This is fluorescent powder. It glows in the dark. Zhongping, have you heard the story of the little monkey? One evening, a little monkey was playing by the pond. He saw the moon reflected in the water and reached out to touch it. Ripples appeared on the water's surface, and the moon disappeared amidst the ripples. The little monkey was shocked, thinking that it had shattered the moon. Actually, it was just the reflection of the moon in the water. The moon disappeared because it was covered by clouds. Zhongping, that thing is not your fault from the beginning to the end. Even if dark clouds cover the entire sky, you still have your own shining star. Zhongping, I recently found a method that might be able to cure your aphasia. Oh. I read in a medical journal that excessive fright may cause tongue retraction, leading to hyoid dislocation in speech and oh my. That's exactly what happened to Afu. If the hyoid bone is repositioned using a clamp, speech function may be restored. I know. Those doctors all said that you would never be able to speak again. But I won't give up. Can I give it a try? Zhongping, please, try to open your mouth as wide as possible. Now slowly stick your tongue out. Very good. Brother, it hurts. If unconscious trauma cannot be released or healed, it may result in the emergence of different selves to avoid confronting internal conflicts. This is one of those psychological defense mechanisms for self-protection. What do you mean? Freud's The Interpretation of Dreams. It explores the origin and treatment of mental disorders. Mental disorders? I want to understand the psychological reasons behind opium addiction and find ways to treat it. No wonder you've been reading medical books lately. Opium is rampant nowadays, causing harm not only to our family, but to countless others. There are already drugs available on the market for quitting opium, aren't there? Most of the opium cessation medications are placebos, expensive yet with minimal effectiveness. Therefore, you want to find a truly effective treatment method. In one of Freud's articles, I learned about a plant called croc. Freud utilized extracts from it to treat conditions such as depression. This could help with opium addiction, and the tragedy of our family would not be repeated. Brother, how much longer do we have to wait? Fishing is so boring. Shh! Caught one. Let the fish escape! When the fish bites the hook, don't rush to reel it in. Be patient and wait. When a big fish bites, there will be a noticeable tug. Yeah! It's a mandarin fish! Let's go home. Tonight I will make steamed mandarin fish. That's great! We have fish to eat! Aww! The northern part of Russia is adjacent to the Arctic and has snow throughout the year. Every day feels like winter. It's freezing cold. Is there a place where it's always summer? Equatorial Africa, such as Congo, experiences scorching heat and harsh conditions. Brother, where are you going to study medicine? Right here in London, the capital of the UK. You two young gentlemen have great talents. Especially younger Shen obtained governmental scholarship for studying abroad. Let's take a photo today to commemorate the two of you. Once the two of you return, you will surely achieve great success and accomplish great things. Our photography studio can also share the glory. Relax, don't move! Then this, brother. Who in the world murdered you? Like this, too. Ooh, wow. Oh, hey, it's the evidence from that, interlude chapter. Still have a mystery man here. Brian. I am Cody Jones. Sigmund Freud. An Austrian psychologist and the founder of psychoanalysis believed that childhood experiences have a significant impact on an individual, even shaping one's personality. That was theory of the unconscious, where repressed desires and fears reside hidden from conscious awareness. The interpretation of dreams, he argued that dreams are not divine revelations, but expressions of the unconscious self. And since a child who gazes at mountains might dream of climbing them, by analyzing dreams, one can trace the origins of psychological issues. So the Dami, aggressive, foreboding Shen in Shen's head. It's a representation of his father. Hey, speaking of, how many times have you returned to this point? I have not counted. The 1121st time. 3 years, almost every night, you have been here. But you still haven't found the answer. As time goes by, your memory is fading. Don't stand in my way. I will definitely uncover the truth behind my brother's murder. Then I guess you have no time to lose. Oh, hello. I observe this place. Should we take another look? Okay. Asbestos mesh with burn marks on it. Asbestos in the middle has been replaced with wax. Okay. First scrap of paper. Basically. There's 7 candles on the floor, arranged in the shape of the Big Dipper. Each candle's been firmly fixed to the floor with wax. 2 of the candles have a shallow scratch on their sides. Photo of my brother with his classmates taken by Joseph. One person in the photo is Stone Wu, the other person is Toby Che. The book has been taken to the desk, however it cannot be determined if it was missing before or after the incident. Right? Police office. The skylight is very high, needing a ladder to reach it, and has been locked from the inside. Thus is a thick layer of accumulated dust, and there are no traces of being touched. The police speculate that Brian caused the window scorch marks in experiments. It's the telegram machine on the table. There are traces of it being used on that day. Morse code paper we found should be fit hexagonally on its tablet. More than that, 9 abnormalities were found in the machine. There's a small stool placed between the desk and the candle arrangement. The stool is very small, with a height of less than 20 centimeters. What was originally inside this wide circle? We were on a Morse code paper strip, which we took as evidence. So you found it on the ground. Aye, that's right. I suspect it fell from the Morse code telegraph machine. Does it have any content on it? Aye. It's all telegrams from Mr. Bell, Joseph's father. I checked the contents, discussing the development of a certain drug. Nothing suspicious. During the incident, from 1:40 to 2:30 p.m., cafe staff heard constant phonograph sounds. They're playing the Peking or Opera 7-Star Lamp. Trophies, lab equipment, pharmaceutical books, and wax cylinders. No special findings have been made currently. Memories unpleasant. Do you wish to proceed? There's all the case files here. You can take your time reviewing them. Review it here. We'll get the paperwork ready for your signature. Oh, thank God it's finally come to an end. On the afternoon when my brother was murdered, Toby Cheng was studying at the library. Library administrator, George, confirmed that Toby Cheng had a clear alibi. Appendix of the case file showed the police investigation on Stone Wu. Stone Wu's a close friend of Brian. It is said that they had a heated argument in the past. Stone Wu suddenly left the UK the day before Brian's death. The police were unable to reach him. No one knows why he suddenly left, but this also serves as his alibi. The departure record in the appendix led the police to exclude him as a suspect. Auntie Cheng said that she sat at the gate all afternoon. Coffee shop staff confirmed this as fact. Auntie Cheng mentioned between brewing herbal medicine herself. Upon investigation, she was found to have a fatal illness with only 1 year at most to live. Oh! This is the Morse code paper reel Officer Jones found at the crime scene. The center of the paper reel has a hexagonal groove. One end of the paper tape has been folded over, forming a strange bend. The inner side of the paper tape is quite dirty and shows signs of wear and tear. The paper strip is filled with dots and lines, which are Morse code. Alright. We successfully deciphered the telegrams. Here are 5 telegrams from Mr. Bell to my brother, starting 2 weeks before the incident. Adjusted medication proven effective in small trials. Congratulations! Not your fault. No need to blame yourself. Drug development challenging path. Keep going. I believe success awaits. Optimism needed. Assistance offered any time. Stay positive. Understand concerns. Office meeting tomorrow, 9 a.m. So I need to talk to him about that office meeting. The only key to the crime scene was held in my brother's left hand during the incident. After examination, it was found that the key only had fingerprints belonging to my brother. Photo of the key. Distinct oriental style in its appearance. Intricate craftsmanship. This key had a side cut mechanism, making it difficult to duplicate. This is the dagger that took my brother's life. The blood on it has already coagulated. As Officer Jones mentioned, compared to a regular dagger, this dagger is lighter. Police have found 2 fingerprints on the dagger, and both of them belong to my brother. Interestingly, both fingerprints are located at the end of the dagger handle. There are also slight scorch marks on the ring at the end of the dagger handle. There's a map of the wall showing police jurisdiction boundaries. Red lines of the map connect to different crime scenes. Li Cheng's house is located in Area A, under the jurisdiction of Westminster Police Station. Ah, that's a piece of evidence. Interesting. Copy of the Times on August 16th. The headline's about a fire incident. London St. Mary's Hospital on fire last night, resulting in the tragic death of 20 patients. Fire broke out on the 2nd floor around 9 p.m. and quickly engulfed the entire building. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Hmm. There's concerns about the possible connection between the fire and the hospital's equipment, lab conditions, or experimental project itself. Patients were participants in an experimental project conducted by the hospital. Hmm. So, experiment going badly, then there was an actual... So if the telegrams or anything to go by... We get the... Active and small trials... So the 14th was this. The 16th was the fire. Interesting. There are thousands of letters piled up on the bookshelf. Surprisingly, those letters are letters from the infamous Jack the River case. Among them, some provide information and some are claimed to be written by the killer. Thank you, Jack the Ripper. Most notorious serial killer in the world. In 1888, he murdered multiple women in the Whitechapel area of London using extremely brutal methods. Victims were all strangled and had their abdomens cut open with some organs removed. During the killing spree, Jack taunted the police and newspaper by sending them letters, causing a great panic in British society at the time. Over a century has passed since the case, but due to a lack of evidence, the identity of the true culprit and the actual motive has remained highly debated. These interrogation transcripts, the subjects being Toby Cheng, Mr. Bell, and Mrs. Cheng. Howdy, Toby. Officer, I'm a distinguished graduate of UCL. How could I possibly commit murder? There's a competition between you and the victim, Brian Shen. Besides, you were the last one to see him before Brian returned to the apartment. I did see him, but you can't condemn me as guilty just because I saw him, right? Whether you're deemed guilty or not depends on your answer to the following questions. Day of Brian's death, on August 15th, someone claims to have seen you two arguing. We had no argument. It must be someone trying to smear my name. I can explain that. At 9 a.m. that morning, I was going to the Wandsworth Library to borrow books, passing by Pimlico. I saw Brian coming out of Mr. Bell's office building. I greeted him, but he pretended not to hear. I was angry. I grabbed him to confront and discuss the situation. Just because you greeted him and he didn't respond? Not exactly. Mr. Bell's research project should be mine. He stole it away. Not only shamelessly took my project, but also deliberately ignored me. Wasn't that infuriating? So you got into an argument with him over that? I didn't. He seemed absent-minded, not responding as if he couldn't hear what I was saying. Later, someone looked our way, so I let him go. There was no argument at all. Where were you between 1 and 3 in the afternoon that day? What were you doing? I spent the entire afternoon studying at the library, then returned to the lab in the evening. Is there someone who can vouch for your whereabouts? Librarian named George, he testified for me. You cannot have those bad grudge against the Brian. What? I wouldn't know. I'm usually focused on my academic pursuits and don't mind with this business. Mr. Chang, please cooperate with our work. But they don't know. Only one time I overheard him having a heated argument with Stone Wu. What's the relationship between Stone Wu and Brian Shen? Do you ken why they had an argument? Do you ken? No, I don't ken. I don't. They're friends. Stone often borrowed money from Brian. Their arguments might be related to money, but I'm not so sure about the specifics. I heard Stone recently made a fortune. Moreover, he hurriedly returned to China the day before Brian's incident. Definitely fishy. We'll verify. No more questions. Watson Bell. Mr. Bell, sorry for the trouble. After all, O'Brien was a researcher in the project I funded and a friend of Joseph's. I'll do everything I can to bring the truth to light. This funded project is about opium cessation. Oh, that explains why O'Brien was so interested. Opium cessation medication is one of Watson Pharmacy's core businesses. We've always placed a strong emphasis on research and development in this area. In fact, the person we initially funded wasn't Brian, but his classmate, Toby Chang. Fortunately, Toby had lofty ambitions, but little progress after 6 months. Joseph introduced me to Brian. He was facing pressure from the Sassoon family due to his research. The Sassoons benefit greatly from the opium trade. They will by no means stand idly by. I saw his research progress, and only strengthened my determination to support him. Also, the reason Brian studied pharmacy and aspired to develop better opium cessation medication was because his family was ruined and devastated by opium. I believe he is the most suitable person to carry out this research. Good dude. I want to hear you having an argument with Brian in the office in the morning on August 15th. At 9 a.m. that morning, I'd arranged to meet Brian for coffee to talk about his recent conditions. How's he been faring recently? Research faced some difficulties, and Brian was feeling quite down about it. I encouraged him to hold on, but he suddenly became very agitated, so we ended the conversation. It wasn't like his usual self. I intended to talk to him some days later, but... How long's he been in this condition? In fact, during that period, his condition was quite worrisome. He became very pessimistic. In hindsight, I should have kept him a bit longer. I deeply regret that now. Where were you between 1 and 3 in the afternoon that day? There's a pharmaceutical industry seminar in the afternoon. I was invited to deliver a speech. Understood. You alibi solid. Well, now that's all. Officer, may I add a few more details? Aye, of course. Please, go ahead. Brian's research on opium cessation medication touched upon the interests of certain groups. I don't want this case to be overly influenced by external factors affecting police judgment. I also trust that the details of the case be kept confidential. Aye, aye. No more questions. The Sassoons. The Sassoon family is a prominent family of Iraqi Jewish heritage. In August 1833, when the British Parliament abolished the East India Trading Company's monopoly on trade with China, the Sassoon family took this opportunity to import a large quantity of cotton, textiles, and opium into China. During Lin Zexu's campaign to suppress the opium trade in Hunan, about half of the opium seized came from the Sassoon family. Following the signing of the Treaty of Nanking, the Sassoon family established several foreign firms in Shanghai. In the early days of the newly established Sassoon & Co., an average of 5,000 chests of opium flowed into Shanghai each year. Ah. Auntie Chang? You, police, let bad guys go. Follow this old lady instead. Mrs. Chang brought you in for questioning because on that day you were only one at sea. I suspect me as murderer just like that. Which fool would murder in their own home? Mrs. Chang, if you... Ridiculous. Dare you stop me brewing my medicine? Cure illness is extending life? I'll try to keep it brief. Where were you between 1 and 3 in the afternoon that day? You ask where I was? It was Hungry Ghost Festival. Taboo to go out that day. Took up sun to dispel bad energy. Been sitting in front of the house sunning myself. If foreigners understand or not. On that day, Ghost Gate opens. Avoid going out. Other suspects? During that time, did anyone else enter? Of course not. No one comes in without my permission. No one's getting in. No one's getting in any day. Besides, you police, who else likes barging in others' homes? Anyone else think you might have? Yes. 2 guys tracking Brian. They've been staring at my house. I have spoken to folk across the road, and nobody's laid eyes on the pair you mentioned. James and Mary from the cafe next door said the same. Oh, yep. I'm sure I didn't see wrong. Now, keep it brief. No more questions. I won't look anymore. See details. Review the case. Police conducted an investigation of each suspicious individual, but they all had alibis. It was a locked room and the only key was found in Brian's hand. Led to the conclusion of suicide. Sergeant Joseph's urging, the police conducted several additional rounds of the investigation. Police visited places that Brian frequented, such as St. Mary's Hospital, Savage Restaurant. However, no conclusive evidence was found that could overturn the aforementioned conclusion. That's the layout of Auntie Cheng's house, as well as photographs of the crime scene. Autopsy report of Brian, personally conducted by Joseph. Report mentions time death was between 2 and 3 in the afternoon. Who died from hemorrhagic shock. Piercing the left pulmonary artery. Body in a contorted position, suspicion of strychnine poisoning. No toxins were detected. Bruising thin fingertips with wood shaped to the nail folds. A healed wound on the right foot. Other injuries were found, indicating no signs of probing wounds. Tissue paper ashes on the body, wax strips found on clothes. Shen, it's here, Sergeant. Go on. Charge investigating your brother's case. Family of the deceased. The investigation into this case is done and dusted. Sign here. Sergeant, go on. I can't sign it yet. What you say? My brother would never kill himself. You questioning the police, are you? No. Just feel that. To Shen, we hold your brother's case in the highest regard, very seriously. Besides the conclusion reached after meticulous investigation and careful consideration. With Joseph and the more experienced Sergeant Gorn, both are on board with a conclusion. Ain't you here to collect the remains? No signature, no go with the rest of the bleeding paperwork. Brother would never commit suicide, but if I sign this paper, it means this case is closed. I cannot sign so easily like this. Brian, what have you been through? This feeling. Seems something's wrong. Shen, you feel unwell? Voice tells me that. There's an inconsistency between a certain item I saw earlier and the documents in my hands. B. What am I looking for here? Oh, of course. Mrs. Cheng's house is in the jurisdiction of District A. This is B. Officers, I noticed that the letter B is marked on each folder. Is the police station's code identifier? Aye, that's our station code. We're mainly responsible for security in Kensington. Map indicates the house where the murder occurred is located in the city of Westminster. On the map, Westminster is labeled with the code A. You question me if we ain't got the authority? I'm just raising a reasonable doubt. On which day before, we received the initial distress telegram. That day I showed Joseph the distress telegram, he get the address. We went together. The person who sent the telegram is crucial. He's like their key witness. We should continue. The scene's a locked room, and the only fingerprints on the murder weapon are your brothers. Just these two bits alone aren't enough to pick it as a suicide. As you can cover off some proper evidence, go on and get out of my sight. Brother, what is a detective? A detective is like an adventurer who ventures into various places. They always meant to spot details that others may overlook. Perhaps there are some details that I have overlooked. If you claim my brother stabbed himself, this piece of evidence seems peculiar. Alright, let's cook. Poison and the dagger fell to the ceiling. So scorch marks the dagger or the poisoning. I recall that in the autopsy report there was no evidence of a probing injury, correct? You've been paying some attention. You're not entirely daft, are you? Probing wounds usually show up in suicide. Your brother didn't have any probing wounds. With a new medic, he knew how to put an end to himself quickly. The probing wounds make sense. I'll be able to think again. Okay. I do like that when you get close. Officer, something still puzzles me. Fingerprints found on the dagger belong to my brother's left index and thumb. Fingerprints are located at the end of the dagger handle. It seems he wasn't gripping the dagger, but rather holding it between two fingers. In this position, how could he have stabbed himself in the chest with the dagger? Clearly, that ain't the way he held the dagger when he offed himself. If he held the dagger in a different way, there should have been more fingerprints left. Not necessarily. We speculate your brother held the dagger through his shirt sleeves. No fingerprints there were left. If he intended to kill himself, why would he avoid leaving fingerprints on the dagger? That don't matter. Shen, don't get upset. We're not trying to make things difficult for you deliberately. Detail your question, and even if it's in doubt, it does not change the conclusion. Locked room, door, windows, skylight, all locked from inside. Only key was in your brother's hand. There's no second person who could have committed the act in such a situation. Oh? Now, is this really how this scene played out? Or are we actually deducing things here? Or are we just hitting the limit of what we deduced? And this started Shen's journey. Are there truly no other possibilities? Brainstorm! The truth about the locked room. Oh wow. Is there a possibility in the killer? The killer had copied a key in advance. Officer Jones? Mr. Shen, I already told you. The key that was in your brother's hands was the only key to the room. It's not that difficult to duplicate a key. You know nothing about your own ignorance. Oh my god. It's Shen playing the roles of the other cops. You knew nothing about your own ignorance. It's so obvious the police would have overlooked it. The key features a unique Eastern design, which you had seen in the case file. I consulted several locksmiths to verify this, and none of them can replicate it exactly. Is it really true? But why would Auntie Cheng's house use such complex keys and locks? The reason is not important. What's important is that it has turned this crime scene into a locked room. Maybe other possibilities that exist. The only key to the room that was in my brother's hand suggests that the killer Didn't need the key. Perhaps the killer didn't need the key at all. There was no key. How'd the killer lock the door? The killer didn't need to use a key to lock the door because... It is possible the killer left through the window, then somehow locked the window again. How do you explain this? The Shen, you also checked it. Both those windows were locked from the inside. Something to lock the door? But we used a certain mechanism inside the house to rotate the window handle. What items? Killer could use a cotton thread to pull the window handle. There's no cotton thread that tied to that window. Window handle is very tight. Requires a lot of force to latch it. That possibility means other things. Don't waste any more time. Listen, if there was a mechanism to lock the windows at the crime scene, would have found it. Seems like this approach lacks practicality. I need to reconsider. Oh wow, alright. Alright, I see how this works. I've heard of cases where the killer creates the illusion of a locked door. In reality, the door was never locked. The possibility you mentioned doesn't exist. The locked latch was damaged when we forced open the door. I and Joseph have repeatedly checked. We are certain that the door was locked. This is not aligned with the facts. Need to reconsider. Alright. So, this is the only path that lets us progress. Killer could have used this tape to rotate the window handle. Paper strip? How do you operate it? First, wrap the strip around the window handle, then use a telegraph machine to pull the stripe. Remember our conversation when you inspected the windows? The window handle was tight. It took a lot of force to latch it. Paper strip would definitely break. Does it seem feasible? Alright. Back up here a moment. Killer locked the window from the inside after the murder. Not possible that Joseph died in the room at the time. You think the killer is one of them, Cody or Joseph? It's not completely impossible either. It's even more unlikely. Just as I told you before. That day Joseph and I were at the police station to receive the telegram. The people at the police station can vouch for that. See this, right? Return the key. And I'll return the key. Through the skylight? Are you serious? Yes, this possibility exists. How do you explain this? Alright? There are scorch marks on the window frame. Perhaps the killer used heat to open the glass. Dust accumulates on the glass. It's what he found if it had been touched. Just not the case. Alright, so the skylight don't think was used. I don't think the skylight was used. I think the window latch might have been used for the threads in the kerosene lamp to drop the dagger. So I don't think that's the right path. Through the window. I've not been to the scene. Shen, do you remember? The windows were locked from the inside. Window handle is very tight. It takes a lot of force to latch it. Like this path might be an entirely dead end. Through the door. Most likely the key was returned through the door. Indeed, the core of the door is usually the only entrance and exit point of a room. Turn the key in the victim's hand through the door. Returned by someone. Perhaps someone returned the key to my brother after the incident. Are you suspecting the police? Only Officer Jones and Joseph entered the room when Joseph performed the autopsy. Wait, are you suspecting Joseph of the killer? At least this possibility exists. Joseph was at the police station until we received the telegram, and others can confirm that. Alright, so this progresses. At the door. Simple, just slide the key through the gap under the door and into the house. If your turning might not work, considering the key is in the possession of your brother. Yeah, that one's obviously gonna fail. Killer may have used certain items in the house to construct a mechanism. A mechanism? What kind of mechanism could accurately deliver the key back to the victim's hand? Connect the key to my brother's hand. Oh, whoa. Oh, shit. Connect the key to my brother's hand. Alright, I won't actually read this. Bruising on the fingers. Natural asbestos has been replaced with wax. Cotton thread to the kerosene bottle to transport the key. It didn't find any cotton thread on the floor. Returning the key, you could ignite the cotton thread soaked in kerosene and burn it. There are 9 traces of kerosene contamination or scorch marks on the key. Killer likely used this Morse code paper reel to bring the key into the house. Morse code paper reel? Inside the paper strip is dirty and shows some signs of wear. I suspect that these marks are caused by the paper strip being dragged on the ground. Not feasible. First of all, the orientation of the telegraph machine is an issue. Paper reel on the telegraph machine is facing toward the table, not toward the door. Furthermore, the telegraph machine, the victim, and the door don't align. Not only a difference in angle, but also a difference in height there. Now you tell me, if the killer used the paper strip to return the key back to your brother's hand. The paper strip was not enough. The killer should have used some other items in the room as well. Which items exactly make up the mechanism, and how do they work? To organize my thoughts properly. Alright. Killer likely created a mechanism using the paper strip and some other items in the room. Turn the key back to my brother's hand. I need to figure out these items. Big Dipper, stool. don't have the. We do have the stool. That's how it is. I nail it in one. Officers, I know where the killer returned the key. Mr. Shen, then please share your thoughts. The killer used this Morse code paper strip as a rope to place the key in my brother's hand. He had my brother hold on to the middle, and swung one end outside the door. And inserted the swung end under the key's chain hole and bent it back in reverse. Next, used a candle to change the direction of the strip and keep it down with a low stool. Finally, put the paper reel back on the telegraph machine and activated it. The machine operated pulled the key back into the room through the gap under the door. The key had resistance when passing through his hand, causing the strip to detach. And the key stayed in his hand. This is the method the killer used to return the key. The method sounds feasible, aligns with the scene, and Sergeant Gordon is infeasible. Why not feasible? The telegraph machine can only spit out paper. It cannot take any in. What? The killer did retrieve the key using the telegraph machine. It'd be a heap of paper strips scattered on the desk at the crime scene. But it ain't the case. Aye, right. At the scene, the Morse code paper strip was neatly kept in the paper reel. And the paper reel was found on the floor. To Shen, it's likely he got it wrong. She'd overlooked that detail, indeed. The telegraph machine can't retrieve paper, and the reel won't attach itself from the machine. There are traces on the paper strip and candle suggesting the transportation of the key. They suggest that, the phonograph. Hang tight. The wax cylinder was playing that whole time. Opposite, paper strip was retrieved. The telegraph chamber through another item, and that's why the wheel was there. False. Use this roll of paper strip. This thing is completely mobile. Alright, box. Where are you? There it is. Oopsies. Morse code paper reel is a component of the telegraph machine. We all instinctively assumed that it could only be installed on that telegraph machine. In reality, what truly aided the killer in this scheme was the phonograph by the desk. The phonograph? The phonograph can have so many uses? X. It's not in the same hexagonal shape as the slot in the center of the paper reel. By fixing the paper reel here, the killer could retrieve the paper strip using the phonograph. Click. The paper reel could truly be installed here. However, the paper reel was installed here, it cannot detach by itself. We did find it on the ground. I still need to point out to Officer Jones the location that caused the paper reel to detach. Paper reel was found on the ground. What's going on with that? How does this work? Doesn't help I can't zoom. It's indeed this phonograph's tone arm that caused the paper reel to detach. Officer, please, take a look. Phonograph's tone arm continuously shifts to the right during music play. The tone arm pushes the paper reel away, and the reel rolled to the position where it was found. The killer's artifice of creating a locked room illusion stands completely exposed. Ah, Mr. Shen, that's truly an enlightening deduction. What's your opinion, Sergeant Gaunt? Your speculation does have a certain level of plausibility. The police say that. But speculation is just speculation, and cracking a case comes down to evidence and facts. My statements are backed by factual evidence. Your speculation does seem to explain some of the phenomena at the scene. There are still fatal contradictions between it and some crucial facts. What facts? Time. Between 1:40 and 2:30 that afternoon, the cafe downstairs heard uninterrupted phonograph music. The killer turned on the phonograph to transport the key back to the room, and before 1:40 must have locked the door and left the scene. According to autopsy, your brother's time of death is estimated to be between 2 and 3. Of course, it can be narrowed down further to 2:28. He was dead when the police arrived. You catch what this implies? And following your speculation, your brother got stabbed after the killer left the room. That blows the foundation of this reasoning out of the water, doesn't it? Not necessarily. Is it possible he was attacked before 1:50, with death occurring after 2? Could have been poison. Like, we still have the trick of the falling dagger to uncover. Even if we died from a weapon piercing the left pulmonary artery, causing sudden cardiac arrest. In other words, he died instantly right after getting stabbed. Bloodstains at the scene confirm that as well. Delayed murder. The door was locked first, then the murder. The killer likely employed a method to delay the time of the murder. How can that be possible? There are no signs of binding or defensive wounds on your brother's body. Would he just stand by and watch the killer set up a killing mechanism? My brother lost the ability to move at that time because... No strychnine found. Toward it. But this autopsy report is the best evidence. Mr. Jones mentioned that most contortions are related to paralysis of the back nerves. I suspect the killer used anesthetic drugs on my brother. We suspect this direction early on, but toxicology results came back all negative. It's a substance undetectable with current forensic expertise. Can't confirm nor deny that possibility. Before delving into the drug angle, the more pressing question is, there was no one in the room at the time. How did the weapon pierce the victim's chest? No crossbows or similar devices were found at the scene. Officer Jones, was the dagger vertical to the ground at that time? At that time, the body was in the contorted position, and the chest almost parallel to the ground. The dagger was thrust vertically into his chest. We consider this vertical to the ground. Vertical to the ground. And the location where my brother was murdered happened to be directly beneath the skylight. This is likely not a coincidence. Did I expect the killer hung the dagger on the skylight? Second thought, the skylight is very high, and it's impossible to reach without a ladder. Mrs. Cheng's house doesn't have a ladder, and no signs of anything being moved at the crime scene. That was the dagger hung up then. It can now have flown there, can it? Mr. Jones, you reminded me. Dawn, there's no apparent connection between this and the method used to hang the dagger. What? Okay, where are we starting? Are the scorch marks on the key itself, then? No scorch marks there. Scorch marks here? Alright then. Oh, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. I'm actually dumb. Is it this? No, false. Oh my god, it just clicked. It just clicked. Lamp. Mr. Shen's suggestion. The photograph, along with the dagger, took off. It means the lantern in the photo, and that's what the wax mesh is the light from the lantern, because it was that day. The idea does have a touch of imagination to. But can a lantern truly carry a dagger and take off? Room temperature air density is 0.08 ounce per feet squared, while hot air in the lantern is 0.06 pounds per feet squared. 35 feet squared. Cubic feet volume lantern, excluding its own weight, can lift an object weighing to 9.17 ounces. Damn. He's cooking. The dagger weighs 5.64 ounces, requiring only 24 cubic feet of lantern volume to lift it. Sergeant Gaunt's calculations are precise and admirable. Gaunt's cooking. I never thought Sergeant Gaunt's math skills are so deep and unfathomable. Unbelievable. It's a bit of a private hobby, you know. That's why wasn't there a lantern found at the crime scene? Burned. This is charred blood, thin iron wire tied at each corner. Central asbestos has been placed with wax. Cotton threads soaked in kerosene. And this might not be relevant. Sky lantern in the room. Kerosene marks. So the kerosene marks. Dagger, sky lantern. This obviously. Like, this is related, but I don't think it actually ties to the, Got it. The asbestos mesh serves as the base support for the lantern, with stone wax as the heat source. This partially burned piece of oiled paper should be part of the lampshade. On the lab table is a stack of identical large, lightweight sheets of paper. I didn't know Ken would method the killer used, but they completely burned the lampshade like that. I believe the lampshade must have been brushed with kerosene. When the flames spread, it could burn down the entire sky lantern. No wonder there are paper ashes on your brother's body. The position where the lantern hangs from the ceiling was not controllable. How did the killer ensure that the falling dagger would definitely stab the victim? Besides, about the death time delayed, how did he control the timing of the dagger's descent? The victims in this scene composed of a sky lantern and some other items. Skylight. Candles. What links this here? Candles with kerosene marks. Sky lantern here. Ink stains on its spine. I think if we flip this around like this. So that's how it is. Okay, got it. The ring at the end of the dagger's handle shows signs of scorching. There are scorch marks in the skylight frame as well. The location where my brother was murdered happened to be directly beneath the skylight. That's the killer's plan. Go on then, let's hear it. The reason the killer placed my brother beneath the skylight. Because the skylight is concave. He's able to fix the sky lantern to its window frame. He tied the kerosene-soaked cotton thread to a candle. After arranging the key, paper, and phonograph, he could leave the room and lock the door. Before long, the candle burned down to the cotton thread that suspended the dagger. Finally, the dagger fell vertically, piercing my brother's chest. But this death was definitely not a suicide, it's murder. The killer is still at large. Someone without professional training. You are quite impressive. You have a natural talent for detective work, indeed. However, the particular dagger tipped the scales at a mere 190 grams. The length of the skylight could it veritably penetrate your brother's heart. Perhaps it behooves us to undertake an experiment. At the crime scene, alright? Awfully sorry, Mr. Shen. Given it our all, tried every which way, but we just can't make the scenario you put forth. What those mechanisms? Why? I do again know how you're feeling, but I have a feeling we're at a standstill with no breakthroughs in sight. Right. Breakthrough! Breakthrough! Shen, I found the manuscript! I think I just fell asleep. Yes, it's already dawn outside. Mr. Shen, while you were sleeping, I searched through all the shelves and finally found that book. Praise me! Praise me! Acknowledge me! Suli, quickly bring the book to Mr. Shen. Mr. Shen, it seems that Lo Pei borrowed inspiration from this novel. Death Under the Kaisan. Written by Sainosura. Not for my grandfather's urgent letter, I wouldn't have returned to this ancestral hall. The old door knocker was covered in mottled rust, just like the stench of lucre on my uncle's. My aunt would boast to everyone about the phonograph her son brought back from studying abroad. Said to have recordings of famous opera singers. She intended to show it off at the ceremony. Uncle was killed. He was stabbed to death during the ancestral ceremony. It's a locked room, and the only key is with him. Inside the body, the 7-star lamp, the singing machine captured everyone's attention. Was my uncle killed by the 7-star lamp, bewitched by the sound of the machine? I re-examined the scene, and indeed it was a locked room. The phonograph, now out of tune, seemed eerie. Could it really be the work of the spirits? The killer used a sky lantern to lift the murder weapon up to the Kaisan. The discordant phonograph exposed the fishing line, solving the locked room mystery. How many times must the tragedy under the Kaisan repeat like the cycle of this roller? A piece of paper on the back cover which says Eastern end of Guanting Street, Xiaobo Town. Shen, how is it? Any discoveries? Locked room, the phonograph, the sky lantern, the Big Dipper. Descriptions are consistent with the scene where my brother was killed. Remember, the books lacks a skylight. It has a roof Kaisan. Both serve the same purpose. The fishing line was replaced with Morse code paper strip. Compared to Lo Pei's novel, this manuscript is even closer to the scene of my brother's death. It's as if the author has experienced it personally. Are the other details of the scene also the same? The novel, the crime took place in a hall, while the London case occurred in a study room. There are other differences in the layout of the two scenes. However, these differences are irrelevant to the case. The only difference in the case is the manner of death. Manner of death? In the book, the victim is killed by a falling dagger while kneeling beneath the Kaisan. When plunged into his back, and his body did not show any signs of contortion. What does this difference mean? I don't know. Mr. Shen, as I listened to your discussion, I suddenly had some ideas. Not now. Please share your thoughts. Remember Chernevsky once said, art comes from life and goes beyond it. As a writer, I understand how authors often draw inspiration from reality for their stories. Since the plot of the book bears a striking resemblance to the case you're investigating, I think the author must be someone who knows about the case, right? Alive! Alive! The two of you happen to know who Sinosura is? I've never heard of this name. The author only left his pen name, and I don't know his real identity either. Does the author have any other works? No. This is the only submission from Sinosura. Is there any other work with a similar writing style? Perhaps the author has other pen names. While this book is a clever concept, the writing style is still inexperienced. The author seems more like a novice, rather than someone who regularly writes novels. What about the handwriting? I think I've seen some manuscripts with similar handwriting. This is the transcribed copy for archiving, and the original has been returned to the author. The address to which the manuscript was returned should still be available, right? For a long time when this publishing house is relocated, those records are no longer available. Long time? Back cover? Back cover is a piece of paper saying eastern end of Guanting Street, Xiaobo Town. This does look like Pi Cheng's handwriting. Han Chu, do you know about this address? No, which reminded me of something. Pi Cheng mentioned she'd found some of the rejected authors' addresses and planned to visit them. Shen, let's hurry and go visit the address left by Miss Liu. Who knows? Sinosura might just live there. Okay, let's go and have a look. I'll borrow this manuscript for now. Of course. If there's anything else I can help you with, please feel free to ask. Goodbye. Goodbye. We are at the east end of Guanting Street, Xiaobo Town. Let's go in and take a look. Shen, this place seems to have been abandoned for a long time. Could it be that the author, Sinosura, has already moved away? Judging from its decorations and layout, it is not a residential house, but an ancestral hall. Ancestral hall? He wouldn't be living in a hall, would he? Let's find out. Okay, this is ominous. We still have one person to meet here. We'll do that next time, though. Chernevsky. Nikolai Chernevsky, a Russian materialist philosopher and one of the authors of the progressive magazine The Contemporary, criticized the Tsarist government and actively spread ideas about a peasant revolution. At the age of 27, his work The Aesthetic Relations of Art to Reality proposed materialistic views such as beauty's life and art stems from life, challenging the then dominant idealistic aesthetics of Hegel. He viewed the dependent relationship of beauty to life, which had a profound influence on later generations. Beauty's nice. Kaisan, kind of ceiling structure in traditional Chinese architecture, which makes the building ceiling concave upward like a well. Walls are decorated with algae patterns, hence the name Kaisan. Gently composed of a multi-layer arch of wooden architecture. Strings from bottom to top to form an inverted bucket shape. And they found at the top of architectural structures such as grottos, temples, and palaces. Yeah, like a wooden dome of sorts, which a skylight is a early modern mundane recreation of. Alright. Whew. On that note, until next time, until then.